Have you ever set a goal, thought about it a lot, wrote down affirmations, repeated them in the mirror, and told yourself, this is the year, and then never tried? It's not that you failed, you just didn't really do anything. And then next year comes around and you do the same thing. Write down the same goals and nothing happens. But wait, write your goals down, they say. That's all you need to manifest your reality. Meditate on your goals. Just look in the mirror and say your positive affirmations. Positive thinking is a must, and I'll never tell you to stop thinking positively. But there must also be action. The problem for most of us is we skip that part and then wonder why nothing changes, why we don't improve, and why our circumstances stay the same. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Yeah, man, all this sounds obvious. Tell me something I don't know. But that's the thing about obvious truths. They are so obvious that people skip right past them looking for some secret. They want the hack that does the work for them. When that hack doesn't work, they end up getting distracted and never make any progress. See, every day we're being stuffed with so much noise, content, and input that we have nothing left for output. And I'm not just talking about wasting time on our phones. I'm talking about something that's changing the way our own minds work against us without even realizing it. Most of us aren't trying to be billionaires. Some, yes, but when I've talked to most people, it seems what we really want is freedom. The power to have control over our own time and energy. We want to pay off the house, not have to work a 9 to 5, and we need money to survive. We can't deny that. So what do? We think positively about it. We tell ourselves it's going to happen. And then think about all the people you know who've read all the positive thinking books, have their list of things they want to do, their goals written down, but they never try new things. They keep doing the same thing that hasn't gotten them the results, and they think magically one day it's going to change. I should create this, I should create that, I'm going to sell this, I'm going to sell that, but they never create it. I want to learn a new language. They say these things, but when it comes to actually doing the work, they don't do it. Years pass and they keep saying the same thing. They're going to learn the language. They're going to buy the house, but they don't do anything. They'll acknowledge they're not doing well, but they don't do anything to change the circumstances. Now look at the people who actually achieve things, the ones that do it without special connections, who came from nothing. What separates them? It's one thing to just believe it, but it's another thing to actually do stuff. When there's a way to make something work, they don't just sit there and hope for it. They figure out how to do it, they build the thing, they figure out the logistics, and they start doing it. The positive thinking and the goals were the same. The difference was the output. And I'm not saying things are going to change overnight. It might not even change if you put in the work. There's no guarantee. But the more output we put out, the better. So why aren't we doing it? Why do we keep writing the same goals down and never acting on them? Imagine for a second that you are building a relationship with a new, significant other, and you say, hey, I'm going to bring you dinner tonight. And they are excited, ready to enjoy dinner with you. You say you'll be there at 6 p.m. on the dot, but then you just don't show up. They're probably going to be a little worried about you and probably be like, yo, what happened? And you're like, oh, I just forgot. Automatically, they're going to lose a certain amount of trust, maybe even respect for you. But they might be willing to give you another shot. And then it happens again. At that point, the relationship is likely over. The trust is completely gone, and there's no coming back. No relationship can survive broken promises like this. Not a relationship with a significant other, a friend, a family member, none. And the relationship with ourselves is the same way. Every time we tell ourselves we're going to do what it takes to achieve our goals, we are making that same type of promise. We will show up, but then we don't. Life gets in the way, we get distracted, and consciously we don't even realize this happens. Going back to the date example, it's not going to affect the person doing the skipping as much as the person they stood up. Because they were worried about something else, their conscious mind moved on. But the unconscious mind is always running and misses nothing. So we let ourselves down, and the unconscious records it. It never forgets the promises we make to ourselves. So what happens? We slowly deteriorate the relationship with ourselves without even knowing it's happening. And then we stand in front of a mirror telling ourselves, I am successful, I am powerful. And our unconscious is sitting there like the girl who got stood up on Valentine's Day. Why would it believe a word we say? We've been breaking promises to it for years. And this is the same reason prayer doesn't work. There's no magic being in the sky coming to grant our wishes. When we pray for success, all we're really doing is asking ourselves for it and hoping something external does the work. It's just another promise with no action behind it. So you have one person standing in front of a mirror saying, I am successful. Another person gets on their knees and says, God, please make me successful. One is talking to themselves, the other believes he is talking to God, and neither one is talking to the part that actually runs the show. So whether we're affirming or praying, the result is the same, words without action. And growth only happens when our intentions actually meet reality, when we say something and do something. That's what turns an idea into something real. But when all we do is set the goal and never act on it, nothing happens. We're just talking to ourselves. We can set goals for 10 years straight and never change as a person because the goals never left our heads. They never met the real world. And over time, all those broken promises add up. We start feeling heavier, less motivated, less capable, and we call that depression. But it's not some chemical mystery. It's the natural result of a mind that stopped trusting the person it belongs to. There's no amount of positive thinking or goal lists or medicine that's going to fix that. The only thing that fixes it is showing up. But why do we fail to take action? If we know we need to show up, why don't we? It's the fact that we spend our time doing other things rather than doing what's necessary. Why is that though? It's not entirely our fault. Companies are paying billions and billions of dollars to figure out how to grab every piece of attention that we have. TV, apps, phones, social media, it's an onslaught because attention is the new currency. Every company knows this. That's why every algorithm is programmed to keep us on their platform for longer. So we find ourselves in a feedback loop. Algorithms serve what people consume longest. People watch low frequency content longer, so those are the videos that go viral. Stupid content, and that is what holds people back. Algorithms know that's what people consume, so that's what they serve. And because of that, that's what creators create. Even worse in the AI age now, because it's even easier to create this crappy content. But maybe it is our fault then, because this isn't an algorithm problem, it's a people problem. The algorithm seems to be a waiter. It brings us what we ordered. We ordered junk for 10 years straight, and now we're mad the restaurant stopped putting salad on the menu. The algorithm didn't make us this way, it just noticed we were this way. Most of us don't even realize this is what we're choosing. It's happening at a subconscious level. We're scrolling, watching, clicking, without thinking about what we're actually feeding ourselves. Go through your YouTube history right now. Go on Instagram and scroll through the past 20, 30 posts. Be honest with yourself. What's the ratio of value versus junk? Plato's allegory of the cave is about prisoners chained up in a cave, staring at a wall, mistaking shadows for reality. They've never seen the real world behind them, so they think the shadows are the world. This is a story about ignorance versus truth. But what if it's also about something else? Everyone focuses on the chains, but the chains weren't what kept them sitting there. The shadows did. They were so stuffed on fake images that they had no desire to turn around. They forgot there was a real world behind them because the shadows gave them just enough stimulation to stay put. The cave isn't just a metaphor for ignorance. It's a metaphor for consumption addiction. The shadows are the feed, the wall is the screen, and the guy who finally broke free wasn't just smarter, he was hungrier. He wanted more than shadows. He wanted something real. That's what's happening to us. We are input obese. All we do is consume. We're fat on input, junk input. Science says your body is literally built from the food you eat. Last month's meals are this month's cells. What if our minds work the same way? The content we consume doesn't just influence our thoughts, it becomes our thoughts. We are literally constructed from our inputs. The obesity epidemic and the depression epidemic started rising at roughly the exact same time. It's the same disease with the same cause. It's just that one shows up in the body, one shows up in the mind. As above, so below. Consumption itself isn't bad. For example, we need to eat for fuel, but it needs to be balanced with output. And when all we're eating is junk, we don't have the energy or desire to move. It's the same with our minds. Constantly consuming junk content, we're never going to want to create. But this works in reverse too. When we start consuming better food, we get more energy and we actually want to work out, produce output. It's the same with the mind. When we consume better content, it motivates us to create more output. And this is exactly what the algorithm works against, because growth only happens when we run into something that challenges us and makes us uncomfortable, something that contradicts what we currently believe. That friction is what pushes us forward, but the algorithm's entire purpose is to eliminate friction. It only shows us what confirms what we already believe, what we already like, because friction means we leave the platform, so the algorithm is wasting our time and keeping us exactly where we are. But how do we know the difference between good content and junk content? Junk content is content that doesn't move us forward. It's not helping us understand reality. It's not helping us better ourselves. But the thing that makes this so difficult is that even content designed to better ourselves might not be the best content either. The test isn't what the content calls itself. The test is what it does to us after we consume it. Does it activate us or sedate us? Do we want to create something, learn something, do something after, or do we just want to consume more? That's the dividing line. Junk content creates a craving for more junk content. Quality content makes us want to close the app and build something. We can feel the difference in our bodies. After junk scrolling, we feel heavy, sluggish, drained. After something that actually challenges us, our minds are racing with ideas. The content tells us what it is by what it does to us afterward. Overconsumption is the disease. Output is the cure. But we still need consumption to fuel that output. Eating isn't the problem. Eating nothing but junk food is the problem. And anyone who's ever been in a gym knows you can't outwork a bad diet. It doesn't matter how hard you train if you're eating garbage the other 23 hours of the day. It's the same thing with our minds. We can't outcreate a bad information diet. If everything we're consuming between creation sessions is junk, our output is going to reflect that. The input feeds the output. So what does output even look like? It's simpler than most people make it. Writing something, creating a video, recording yourself talking about an idea. We don't even have to put it out there in the beginning. Just create something. Don't worry about it being perfect, and don't think you need to learn more before you can start creating. The best way to learn something is to teach it. We can't teach what we don't know, so the act of creating forces us to study, to understand, to actually know what it is we want to talk about. The creation is the learning. That's why it's not just about helping other people, it's helping ourselves. And this is what makes creation different from everything else we do in a day. Every animal on earth consumes. A cow eats grass. A dog watches you open the fridge. Consumption is the most basic function of any living thing. But creation, pulling something out of our minds that never existed before, that's the one ability that separates us from every other living thing on this planet. A cow has never written a book. A dog has never composed a song. Most of us never use this ability. We spend our whole lives doing what every other organism does, consuming, and wonder why something feels missing. But not all creation is equal. There's a difference between creating something that forces us to grow versus creating something that's just performance. If someone's making content just to portray an image, living a lifestyle they don't actually have, trying to get famous for being famous, they could create all day and it wouldn't move them forward. The creation doesn't require them to become better to succeed at it. The test is simple. Does what we're building require us to become better in order to succeed at it? If the current version of us can do it without growing, it's not the right pursuit. When we create something that actually challenges us, that creation evolves us. And usually when we're creating to better ourselves, it ends up bettering others too. I'll use myself as an example. Since starting this channel, My understanding of philosophy, ontological mathematics, and reality has improved drastically. My study habits have improved. My focus has improved because now every time I consume something, it's with purpose. Every input session is focused because I know it's feeding the next thing I create. The creation changed the way I consume, and I know that content like this might never go viral. The algorithm doesn't reward this kind of thing because most people won't sit with it long enough. And that's fine. That's a people problem, not a content problem. Even if this reaches one person who needed to hear it, it's done its job. And beyond that, making it already did its job because it made me better. That's what real creation does. It serves the creator and the audience at the same time, but I can only create videos consistently because I stopped filling my mind with junk. I don't have time to waste on social media or watching Netflix, and most people do waste that time without even realizing what it's doing to them, because a clear mind is a dangerous mind. And I don't mean a clear mind as in someone meditating, trying to clear their mind, because that's what a lot of people do. They think meditation is going to clear their mind, but as soon as they're done meditating, they're consuming the same inputs, the same distractions. So they're not really changing anything. Maybe it's not even about having a clear mind. It's about having a mind that isn't corrupted from junk inputs, because at the end of the day, our minds are never really clear because the unconscious mind never stops, and while awake, the conscious mind never stops. What actually matters is what the unconscious serves to the conscious mind. Our unconscious is basically a search engine. When we need an idea, a solution, a response to something, it searches everything we've ever consumed and returns the most relevant result. So if we've spent years feeding it junk, gossip, drama, shallow entertainment, rage bait, that's what it returns. So it's not that we are uncreative or stupid, it's just that our conscious minds are searching a garbage index. And meditation doesn't re-index anything. It just pauses the search for 20 minutes. When we come back, we still have the same index and get the same results. Guess what? 20 minutes of silence doesn't override 8 hours of junk consumption. The 8 hours win every time. The only way to change what our unconscious serves us is to change what we feed it. New inputs, new index, new results. So how do we break this? Simple. Not easy, but simple. Start auditing our inputs. Get rid of the BS junk media and consume better content. If you're still watching this video, then you're off to a good start. From there, try to create something, anything. I don't care what it is. Write something, record something, teach someone something you learned. Just start outputting, because that one act starts reversing the entire cycle. What a lot of us don't realize is that improving ourselves first is what allows us to eventually help others. It's like on the airplane, they say put your mask on before you can help others. We got people in this world that want to help others, but haven't figured it out for themselves yet. And we got people that have figured it out, but don't care about anyone else. The ones who actually change things are the ones who fix themselves first and then turn that into something that helps the people around them. Every system that profits off of us needs us to stay the same. The algorithm needs us to be passive, so we'll keep consuming. The self-help industry needs us to feel broken, so we'll keep buying courses that don't work. Religion needs us to feel sinful, so we'll keep attending. All of them need us to be dependent. None of them benefit from us figuring this out on our own. But we're not broken. Our unconscious just doesn't trust us because we broke promises to it. We're not unmotivated. We're input obese and too stuffed to move. We're not uncreative. Our search index is full of junk. We can start fixing all this today, right now. But nobody's going to do it for us. Nobody's coming to save you. You have to save yourself. Stay zero, gnosis.